And as I was saying today, when I was a kid, I was bullied by someone 3 times my size and weight. They used to shove me on the floor and sit on me and bounce on my ribs. I was 3.5 stone at the age of 9. It's one that didn't break my ribs and puncture my lungs, so I'm not frightened to death because I faced it every day in the school holidays. I'm not saying who it was. My hair isn't naturally ginger; it's naturally brown. And I was wrong. Hitler's was black, wasn't it? But can't remember that much. I mean, I didn't know what. I'm unlikely to meet him, am I? But yeah, I mean, I faced that every day when in the school holidays. I liked one grandmother; they liked the other. But the grandmothers I went to wouldn't have them in the house, which is why I went there to get away from the bullying. The other grandma, well, she was a bit blunt and tactless, and I wasn't really keen on that. But obviously, I see she was very strong because her dad was struck by lightning, and they lost everything. And she had 5 or 6 sisters and a brother who died in 1931, aged 31, because they couldn't operate on heart valves then. And he was buried in a pauper's grave because obviously they'd lost the farm and everything. And but it was rented, so there was no one to work it. So had a tough time. My dad didn't do much better. I already had plenty of jobs then, but Dad nearly starved 2 or 3 times when he was young from lack of money, and I nearly have 3 times from not being able to go out of here because I'm frightened people break in and nick my food and that. Do you want me to prove myself? As far as I'm concerned, I proved myself. What in '88, the last serious job I had, I've been struggling to get out of bed to go to work since because Dad forced me to go there. I didn't want to, but I don't think it was my dad because my dad didn't shout that loud. Suddenly he came. Well, I'd asked him 2 or 3 times to get me a job there because it was difficult to find work, and I'm an engineer, and I got a job as a welder eventually. But he suddenly did come in, bawling and shouting, "You're going there tomorrow, whether you like it or not." I mean, previously he'd said, "You know, you don't want you working there. It's not a nice place." But suddenly, it's as if it was someone else, like they were saying, my mother. It's as if she was someone else. But yeah, I mean, when I was working there, a factory joke went wrong, and I literally thought I was facing 300 members of the IRA who hated me guts. Why they do that, I don't know, but that's what I thought at the time. Well, when you're on your own against something like that, and your mother's just had an heart attack when you were at college, you're bound to go a bit off course, aren't you? Your thoughts and that, but yeah, that's what I thought. And I mean, the IRA, they're not amateurs like Al Qaeda. They only choose targets that suit their campaign, and they won't attack someone who's not like a legitimate target for their campaign. And they're very accurate. They don't mess about at all. I mean, don't underestimate the Irish. They are not stupid. I mean, Al Qaeda, were they were idiots, weren't they? They literally upset the whole population of the planet because there was just about one a member of every nation in the Twin Towers, weren't there, or on the plane. They upset everybody. So, well, virtually there was so many armies, navies, and air forces after them. They've destroyed a lot of them, haven't they? The forces. It was stupid. I mean, it was amateurish, really, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a different idea, but they just offended so many. It was designed to cause offence, and well, they got killed by doing it, didn't they? The IRA are campaigning for something that's in their country. Well, whether it's right or not, I don't know. But the thing is, the Northern Islanders, well, they could leave if they didn't want to join the South. But isn't it a religious problem? I don't know. I don't really know. But I mean, I wouldn't go there because of the troubles. I mean, it's not to do with me. I have relatives on both ends of northern of Ireland, north and south, Scotland, all over, even most all of the world as well. But I mean, yeah, I mean Al Qaeda, they were amateurs, but yeah, that's what I thought I was facing at the time, and it was flipping scary. And I walked in the pub on the day I resigned because I just walked out as soon as I could. Well, my dad was going to kick me out the house if I left and I had no money, nowhere to go, and that was the thing. In the end, he did kick me out, and it was about -10, and there was about 6 inches of snow on the ground. But by then, I told my mate who'd come home from Polytechnic what was happening. He said, "Oh, you can come and stay in my digs." And I got a lift there with his parents and stayed there as long as I could. But I don't really like cities. Nothing personal. They're too big for me because, well, my mother was born in a bungalow. There were two bungalows and two farms, and that is actually a village. And I think there's a big hall as well. I think there's a big gates like leading to a hall. But I mean, yeah, I mean, to me, cities are just too big for me. It's nothing personal, but um, I forgot what I was thinking about. But yeah, I mean, to somebody local like that, the high area would be terrifying, wouldn't they? But I mean, a lot of my relatives have been soldiers in World War Two, and an airman who was killed. But I mean, I'm nothing like them really. I wouldn't claim to be brave or out like that, like they were. But that was the thing. It was conscription, wasn't it? They had no choice. But they had to be able to cut people's throats and stuff like that because it's not done. It's not depicted how it's depicted. It's not done how it's depicted in movies and television programs because they're not allowed to depict it because it's dangerous to teach people how to do that. Whereas they are now it's done because they'd have to know. But I mean, what actually one of my dad's cousins was a peacekeeper in Ireland in World War Two, but that was the cushy job, wasn't it? Because, well, yeah, they could get shot in that, but it wasn't as risky as some of the other jobs. And my dad's cousins all sort of, well, one of them was a close friend of my mother's brother, and they all knew him, and they all respected him because he gave his life, and they would have done the same. But whether I would, I don't know. But not many people would do that now, and that's the thing. Most of the families, most of the service personnel, the families have always done that. As for my family, I don't know. Well, I can't say. I just don't know.